Since August 20, 2007, several detached human feet have been discovered on the coasts of the Salish Sea in British Columbia and Washington. The feet belonged to 5 men, 1 woman, and 3 other people of unknown sex, the 2 left feet having been matched with 2 of the right feet. As of February 2012, only 5 feet of 4 people have been identified. It is not known to whom the rest of the feet belong. In addition, several hoax feet have been planted in the area. Discoveries: as of May 6, 2014, 10 or 11 feet have been found in Canada, and 4 in the U.S. state of Washington. In July 2008 it was announced that 1 foot had been identified by Vancouver police, using DNA, as belonging to a man who was depressed and probably committed suicide. His identity was withheld on request of his family. Hoaxes: another foot, which was discovered on June 18, 2008, on Chesapeake near Campbell River on Vancouver Island, was a hoax. The hoax was a skeletonized animal paw, which was put in a sock and shoe and then stuffed with dried seaweed. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police have begun an investigation into the hoax, and an arrest could result in charges of public mischief. After the 11th foot was found on August 31, 2011, several running shoes containing what police suspected was raw meat were found washed up on Oak Beach, British Columbia. Outside Salish Sea area, proposed explanations: the series of discoveries has been called astounding, and almost beyond explanation, as no other body parts have turned up. The discoveries have caused speculation that the feet may be those of people who died in a boating accident or a plane crash in the ocean. One explanation is that some of the feet are those of 4 men who died in a plane crash near Quadra Island in 2005 and whose bodies have not been recovered, though one of the feet has been determined to be from a female. Foul play has also been suggested, although none of the first 4 feet showed tool marks. This does not rule out foul play, however. It is possible that the bodies could have been weighted down and disposed of, and the feet are separating due to natural decay. Determining the origin of the feet is complicated because ocean currents may carry floating items long distances, and because currents in the Strait of Georgia may be unpredictable. A foot may float as far as 1,000 miles. Also, human feet have a tendency to become adiphosear, which makes it hard for forensic scientists to find clues. Under optimal conditions, a human body may remain intact in water for as long as 3 decades, meaning that the feet may have been floating around for years. Another theory is that the feet belong to people who died in the Asian tsunami on December 26, 2004. Richmond, British Columbia-based writer Shane Lambert has advocated this position, pointing to the fact that many of the shoes found were manufactured and sold in 2004 or earlier. Lambert acknowledges that there could be other sources for the shoes or multiple sources. However, besides the dates when the shoes were manufactured, Lambert cites ocean currents and their ultimate northward tendencies up the Pacific Ocean from part of the region that was hit by the 2004 tsunami. 1 foot has been identified as belonging to a man who was depressed and probably committed suicide, and 2 feet were identified as belonging to a woman who committed suicide by jumping from the Petullo Bridge in New Westminster in 2004. This suggests that the feet belong to various people who have jumped from the bridge. Level of rarity: decomposition may separate the foot from the body because the ankle is relatively weak, and the buoyancy caused by air either inside or trapped within a shoe would allow it to float away. According to SFU entomologist Gail Anderson, extremities such as the hands, feet, and head often detach as a body decomposes in the water, although they rarely float. However, finding feet and not the rest of the bodies has been deemed unusual. Finding 2 feet has been given 1,000,000 to 1 odds, and has thus been described as an anomaly. The finding of the 3rd foot made it the first time 3 such discoveries had been made so close to each other. The 4th discovery caused speculation about human interference and, statistically, was called curious. Media reaction: after the 5th foot was discovered, the story had begun to receive increased international media attention. With major headlines from newspapers such as the Melbourne Herald Sun, The Guardian, and the Cape Times in South Africa, the story elicited much speculation about the cause of the mystery, originating from morbid fascination with this type of subject, as stated by one scientist who identifies remains of victims. David Letterman also questioned two of his audience members who were Canadian about the mystery during one of his shows. J.R.N. Lyer Horst, a Norwegian police officer, wrote a novel inspired by the events, called Dregs, in which an experienced investigator gives a new explanation for the findings. The Salish Sea discoveries were the inspiration for a plot point in an episode of Bones Season 6, The Feet on the Beach, in which a group of feet were discovered on a beach on the American-Canadian border. In the episode, they were from cadavers that had been washed away by flooding at a body farm. The severed foot discoveries are regularly referenced on the No Agenda show and were the inspiration for The Foot on the Shore by British author Scott Mackenzie, which hints at a government conspiracy behind the phenomenon. References. External links: interactive map of discoveries from CBC News.